Alrighty, hi everyone, I'm Blaze here. So this video is going to be talking about Luclin, some of the things to keep an eye out for, some of the things that are changing as the expansion drops. So let's get into it. So I'm not super knowledgeable about this expansion. I really only know very well up to Velius, but I knew a few things about this expansion. So it comes out November 20th on Mangler. I'm going to talk about AAs, Flowing Thought, Focus Effects, the Bazaar, etc. So let's get into it. So the first thing being alternate advancements, or AAs. So this is something that I think it becomes enabled when you're around level 50 or 51. It's another form of leveling up your character, of where, say if you're at max level, you're level 60, and you're earning experience, you can push it all into alternate advancement and make your character more powerful, more capable, more abilities through this. This is a major means of making your character better and better equipped for raids. So right now I'm showing some of the bard stuff, but let me show one of the big ones I find that's going to be for caster classes, for pet classes especially. So I found out about this one. It's called Companion's Discipline that you get in Shadows of Luclin. Costs a lot. I think it costs 6 AA points, but it is it's this passive ability allows you to have it's basically a new pet command called Pet Hold, and your pet will only attack something when you tell it to, and your pet will continue to attack anything on its hate list after at that point. So from what I know about this, it's really nice because you get AAs that'll go off, AoEs that'll go off that'll cause your pet to aggro on raids, or there's instances of where you're pulling as a pet class and you get hit and your pet automatically defends you. You don't want that to happen. So this is a really nice AA that I think is critical for raids and even grouping. This is something I get immediately. But there's just a little quick thing about alternate advancements. There's a bunch of really good ones for particular classes. I'm not super knowledgeable about that, but there's plenty of guides out there, and of course there's with the forums you can ask. Now let's talk about Flowing Thought Abundance. There's a couple Flowing Thought items that get introduced in Velius, but there's a lot more that become accessible in Luclin and much easier to attain. Some of the lower level ones, I think there's a mob that's in the 40s range that you can kill to get one for the range slot. But I think there's a really nice necklace that people are going to be holding out for in Vex Thal for the last boss. It's a quest you can do that gives you a necklace that has 8 Flowing Thought on it. And I think the cap for Flowing Thought equipped is 15. So that's more than half. That's more than half. I think that's going to be a huge item. I'm going to try to get that on my Bard, but that's probably going to be a max DKP bid. So got to save up a lot of DKP for that one. But let's get into the next one now. Let's talk about Focus Effects. Now Focus Effects is another thing I'm not super familiar about, but there are some special pieces of gear as you'll find as you're playing, such as this supple scale armband I have on my Necro from Conroe's Castle that has a special benefit to the item beyond just the stats. So this item has extended range, and you can see increases the spell range of everything you got up to 15%. So there's another couple big ones. I think there's like mana preservation. I think there's ones so they save you the amount of mana on all the spells that you cast. There's some that help out healers. There's some that speed up the rate of cast that you make. There's some that increase the amount of damage, I believe. So there's a bunch of different focus effects on pieces of gear, and I think it's a big area of focus of casters, of getting some of these really niche items that they're really going to want. And another thing, I didn't put this down on the list, but also mounts come out during this expansion. Mounts. So you can actually be on the mount, and from my understanding, you don't have to sit anymore to meditate. By just being on the mount, you are automatically put into a meditative state. So you're always meditating, getting more mana back, even if you're technically standing up. So that's another really nice thing about that expansion. So the next portion The next portion, let's talk about the Bazaar. So I remember the old version of the Bazaar, but they did a revamp a couple years ago, so it's different. But the Bazaar is the main trading hub of the game. So right now, as it stands, people are using the Common Lands tunnel. But after that, people are going to shift towards the Bazaar on Luclin to sell all their gear, to sell all their wares. And one of the nice things about the Bazaar, so it has merchants there where you can buy mounts. But from my understanding with the Bazaar, you can go AFK. You can AFK sell or sell your stuff offline through some functionality. I'm not sure how it works, but I don't think you have to be logged on anymore to sell your stuff, which is really nice because when you're in the Common Lands, you have to actively sell your gear. Okay, so next portion, let's talk about the Wizard Spires and Teleportation. So these are what they are. They're these giant 4 sort of pedestals. I don't know if you'd call them pedestals, but 4 different rings that you'll find scattered across different zones in Norath. So this is one in North Corana. I think there's one in Greater Fadark, Great Divide, in Dreadlands. And I'm not sure, there might be some other places, but they are ways that you get up to Luclin. I'm not sure if they changed it, but back in Era, there was a NPC that would stand right at these rings, and they would give you like a stone, and every, say, 15 minutes, it would take a batch of people up. So it's going to be a really convenient way to get around. This is how you're going to get to Luclin. I think wizards can port directly here, and it takes you to here, the Nexus, which is sort of the hub on the moon, which can take you to all the other spots, to take you to the Bazaar, all the beginning places in Luclin, and it can take you to the other hub spots on Norath that have rings themselves. So this is going to be very convenient to get around. So it's going to be great to be bound in places like Greater Fadark. It's going to be great to be bound in Thurgadon. It's going to be great to be bound. I think those are probably 2 of the best spots. Frony Advised is close, but that's a long run to get to the ring in Dreadlands. So, yeah, Greater Fadark and Thurgadon are going to be good spots, I imagine, to be bound at or to be close to. A quick way to get around, or I think you can even bind to the Nexus. So getting around will be a lot more convenient come this expansion. Now, the next portion, the Beastlord class. So in this expansion, the Beastlord class becomes available, as well as the Vashir, the cat race, essentially. And the Beastlord class is sort of a mix between monks and shamans, from my understanding. So they get a lot of the buffs that shamans do, they get the slows that shamans do, and they have this one unique ability to them. So they have their own pets, but one of the unique things about them is they have a form of mana regen, which I just recently became aware of. They have a form of mana regen, sort of like a Clarity or a Bard mana song, that stacks with the other ones, from my understanding. I'm not 100% on that, but I think it does. And I think the first one they get is at level 41, looking on the Alakazam website. So they're definitely going to be wanted. And now let's talk about the last thing, Vex Thal keying. So I've never done this before, but my guild is requiring us all to get keyed for Vex Thal, which is the end dungeon of Luclin, or Luclin, however people say it. So it involves going around to a bunch of different zones, getting a bunch of different key parts, and it takes a while from my understanding. But I'm going to do my best on this channel to show getting all the different parts, how it's done. And I hope that this guide helps many people who are interested in coming by. So again, it's November 20th when it unlocks on Mangler. And I hope to see you all there. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one.